So I just finished my jewelry organizer, and I found some jewelry that one piece didn't work very well, and another piece I didn't like anymore, and I'm going to try to take part of one and put it in the other one so that it's a little more functional, so I can wear it by myself. So let me show you what that looks like. Here is the bracelet that I really love. But the clasp is really difficult to clasp and barely fit, so it makes the bracelet like super tight. This necklace I've had for years. I actually think one of my students gave it to me, and for whatever reason I just haven't really ever worn it. But I like this little clasp. So this piece of string just slides over it, and I feel like this would be really easy to do one-handed, because when you put on the bracelet, obviously you can only use one hand, where this clasp is, you know, like a regular necklace, and it's extremely difficult to do that one-handed. So that is what I'm going to attempt to do right now. So I guess the first thing I need to do is remove this little part right here so that I just have the ends to work with. And I've got a couple different ideas, but you guys know how I do it. I just start and kind of see what happens. So here we go. Hopefully I can stay in the image. Now this little circle piece I want to keep, but I want to sort of get rid of this clasp, and I bet I can just bend this to get rid of it. And if that doesn't work, let me just see if I can cut it with the cutting part of my little thing. Yeah, okay, so this little part of the needle nose pliers is actually will cut. So if you ever have a pair of needle nose pliers and you need to cut something, you have to get it right down into this part right here. Okay, so now I have this little piece on this side, and I have a oops, wait, I gotta get rid of this little thing. And I have a matching piece on this side. Okay, got that side off. All right, so just this little circle here and this little circle here. Now, I'm not sure how long I need this, so I am just gonna cut super long to make sure I have plenty of string to work with. All right, so I'm gonna kind of look at this. I really don't need it tight at all. So I'm kind of looking at this part right here to see about how long I need this. It looks like the only part I'm really gonna need is this middle part right here. So I'm just going to first attempt to just tie it and test it, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so I'm just going to tie this. And if I like this, I will finish it a little bit better. But let's just see what happens. Just testing this out here. Alright, so just this part I will cut off if I like this, but let's just test this and see if it works. I always have to teach my kids. Being a science teacher, I've got to teach them about the technological design process or the engineering design process. And that means you get an idea, you try it. If it doesn't work, you try something else. So I was able to get it on with one hand, and it just looks a little too loose. So let me figure out what I can do. So I'm going to try to get this little bead off so that I can get rid of kind of this part and just have the bead be a lot closer to the hole, because I need to make it a little bit smaller. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut this off. Bead should slide out, and now I am just going to get a piece This one's probably a little bit longer. No, but I need the loop, so let me cut one of these pieces. Actually, let me just take this whole thing off. And this way, I can. It's a little tricky, but to get it back through, I just had to use a paper clip and kind of push the end of it through just a little bit. So I finally got it through. And now the first thing I'm going to do is just tie this off, so that all I really have is the little ball. And I'll make another loop. And then I'm going to tie this onto one end. So you can see how I went from the longer piece to having just the little ball on there. And I'm going to tie this pretty tight because I'm thinking this is going to work. Alright, I am going to leave a little bit of a tail in case I want to. Sometimes you can use a lighter and kind of burn this, so I kind of melt it together a little bit to have it stay for sure. And then let me tie my loop back on the other end. I'm not going to do that one too tight, just to make sure. You see what happens. Alright, so that's not too bad. I feel like I could make it just a little bit tighter. So let me pause this and kind of keep figuring this out. This is called the engineering design process. Okay, so here we go. I think I got it perfect. I love how tight it is, and I just had to make the loop side a little bit smaller as well. So I've got this side that I just sort of attached the ball to and just kind of tied it. I'm going to clean up these little ends. And then on this other side, I just sort of made my own loop. So you can see I just sort of made a loop and then tied a little knot here, and I will probably tie this again and reinforce it. So let me tidy it up just a little bit, and then I'll show you the finished product. I think I am done. Just want to show you what I did. So I've got this piece just kind of tied, and then I kept a loop right here, and I just cut off the ends. Now what I did, and I've already done it, but I just want to show you, do not play with fire. Do not. But to get, when you're working with a certain type of material, you can kind of take a flame and you can just kind of melt it a little bit, and that way it will for sure stay. And so it's going to catch on fire, melt, you just blow it out and you just let it kind of sit. And when you squish it, all the threads kind of squish together and it'll never come apart. And I did the same thing to this side. Okay. And let's put it on. Go. And that looks like it should do the trick. So here's what it looks like. And that little bead doesn't look too bad. Might get in my way if I'm trying to write or something, but it was much easier to put on. So there you go. Let me know if you have any questions.